Hello beautiful people, let's make plain butter cake without an oven. Yes, it's possible. We'll start by greasing our baking pan with butter. This is a very important step because it will help your cake to fall off easily after baking. And I also brought in some flour into the greased pan and we'll swirl it around the baking pan to be in contact with the butter. And we'll also remove the excess. And in my bowl, I added in butter. You can also use margarine. You make sure you get out all the butter. And I also brought in the sugar and we'll start creaming this. Here I have the hand whisk and I have the wooden spatula, whichever one you prefer, but just know that you will have to use something very strong so that you can easily cream this without stress. And I prefer using my hand whisk, and we'll start turning this together. Observe how I'm hitting the wicks to release the trapped butter and sugar. If you have a stand mixer, you can use that for this, but I'm doing this specifically for those that do not have a stand mixer and do not have an oven. We'll keep turning this till this has turned to a light shade of yellow, and I'll bring in the eggs. For this recipe, I'll be introducing these eggs one after the other. I have other cake videos where I whisked all the eggs in as one and brought it in gradually, but for this we'll be whisking the eggs one after the other. When you bring in an egg, please stir this very well before bringing in the next one so that you have very good soft and fluffy cake. I also brought in vanilla flavor. You can use any flavor you desire, and we'll mix all this in to be very smooth and fluffy. Here I have the flour and the baking powder, milk flavor for extra flavoring, and the salt, and we are going to sieve this out. It's important you sift out your flour for cake. It helps breaking the flour molecules and it will give you very nice cake. And we'll start introducing these dry ingredients gradually into our whisked egg, sugar, and butter. I also brought in milk, but I'll be bringing this milk in gradually. We are not going to add either the dry ingredients or the milk in at once. We'll add in batches and we'll keep stirring this to form a very smooth batter. We'll keep mixing this. When it gets to this point where all the dry ingredients have been mixed in, we are not going to be mixing this in so vigorously because it might make your cake not to rise. We'll just be mixing and folding, incorporating air into the batter. You observed our consistency. This is not too runny and this is not too hard either. Many people have complained about issues with their cake. If you follow this simple cake recipe, you will have amazing cake. And I'll transfer this into a greased pan. Make sure you get out all the batter from our bowl into the pan because they're all part of our cake. I'll heat the cake pan on my work table to release some of the air in the cake batter, and let's go and bake. We'll not be using high heat for this. We are baking on very low heat. Please take note of that. And I brought in the stove stand. In case you don't have this, you can add in salt. You can even bring in stone into the pot. That will give our cake pan some elevation. And I'll cover this initially and preheat this for between 3 to 5 minutes, just like you will preheat your oven if you were using an electric oven. And now I brought in the cake pan. Please use protective gloves because at this point this pot is very hot, and we are going to cover this and we'll bake between 40 minutes to 45 minutes. Please do not open the pot during this period. At the end of 45 minutes, you could already perceive the aroma of this cake, and to check if it's ready, you glide your toothpick or your skewer in. It should come out smooth without any batter attached to it. So we'll take this out of the pot and I'll allow it to cool for like 20 minutes before bringing it out of the cake pan. And if you observe, the crust is coming from underneath because we baked in the pot and not the oven that has upper and down heating elements. And we'll cut into this cake. Believe me when I tell you that this cake tastes so amazing. If you were not told, you would doubt whether it was baked in the pot or with an electric oven. Many people have asked me, is it possible to bake in the pot? It's absolutely possible. I always say that homemade recipes are the best, and every meal is possible in your kitchen. I hope you learned a thing or more from this video. Remember, at Glory Homemaker, we give you value for your time. And again, this is how I slice it, because we love eating plain cakes here without the icing. We'll slice this and send this to the fridge. It can last for weeks without any preservatives. Thank you for watching, and see you in my next video.